Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananaham Tva Ganapati Gumhavamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamattravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anasrinvan Utibhisi Dasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitrayavatu Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Yekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambah Skandapurvajaha Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Yasya Dvirada Vaktradhyah Parishadhyah Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Srinvan Ramakathanadam Konayati Param Gatim Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Krita Mastakanjalim Bashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam. So Dasratha sent for Sumantra and told them that now the princess have completed all the other educations, and it's important that we lay the proper foundations for their life, which is the knowledge of Para Vidya, the knowledge about the Atma, the ability and the inclination and the aptitude and the propensity to look for Bhagavan in everything that you do, how he is the supporter and the doer and the enjoyer and the witness, and he is everything basically, including the action. So that Atma Vidya, the oneness, the prema that has taken shape of the whole universe and supports it, that knowledge that we have to inculcate in them, and then on top of this Paravidya, this knowledge of morality and this knowledge of spirituality, then they can build the Aparavidya, which is all the other knowledges that are required and the skills that are required to conduct and live in this world. Okay? So he said, please take them for these various kshetrangal, the holy places, and then let them also look at the citizens, and so that way they know how to manage and control senses, for example, which is very important, which is the one that leads everyone astray. So then they can lead a very disciplined life. And the moment the minister heard this, of course, naturally he's very happy to be able to spend time with the princess and take them all around, and who would not want this kind of assignment, right? The mothers also came to know, and they blessed the children. They, in fact, then got some additional boys of similar age to Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, and talked to their parents and got their permission, got them to go with the princess on this Kshetradanam. And so the four boys just could not wait to leave, and they were so enthused about this, they just could not wait for the auspicious time to come, which was fixed by Vasishta for an auspicious moment to start this journey. The journey came, the auspicious hour came, and the princess bowed their head and fell at the feet of their father, got his blessings, fell at the feet of the mothers, they got their blessings, and then he did namaskarams to the preceptor Vasishta, got his blessings. The mothers placed these holy dots on their cheeks to ward off any evils, and then the princes then discarded their royal robes, and the same way they wore the clothing, the attire that pertains to a student when they visited the Gurukulam. Now they wore the attire for a pilgrimage, which is basically they wore silk dhotis and covered their top half with a silk angavastram. And then they got on the chariot, and the people all had thronged up the streets, and they all shouted Jai, Jai, and all that, and their gods, preceding and following, and then the procession left Ayodhya for the Kshetradanam. And days and weeks and months and time passed by. They went to every temple and sacred spot. And every place they went, they imbibed the holiness, the sacredness of that place. And they approached it with faith and devotion, not in a namkevasa, but with tremendous faith and devotion they approached each one. So they got the maximum out of those places. And inquired about what are the latent powers in those, how did this thing come about, what is the history of this place. And they completely ignored every other thought. They focused only on understanding and imbibing the sacredness and the holiness of the various the holy places in the temple that they visited. Sumantra, of course, explained to them in each and every place they went the complete history, how it came about, and how the sacredness was upright, how the divinity was established there, like that. And then they plied him with more questions. And so when a sincere, eager student asks questions to learn more and to learn more in depth also, there is nothing that gives the teacher more pleasure than that. So Sumantra was only more ecstatic. So the moment the princess started asking him questions for details, he only provided them with much more detail. So he was very happy. And this way, they traveled all the way from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, to the eastern part of Bharat, to the western part of Bharat. And wherever they went, they intermingled with the citizenry, with the people. They were absolutely kept themselves mind and eyes open to people's sufferings. If anybody was suffering, immediately they came to know about it. And then whenever they observed some deficiency, somebody is suffering somewhere, immediately they pleaded with Sumantra to right that situation, to make sure that deficiency is removed, and which he did instantly and enthusiastically. And in their Kshetradanam, the princes were also responsible for fixing up and repairing several temples, and they also arranged for the provision of several drinking wells where you have to drill wells to take water out of the ground. And then they also provided several water distribution centers so people could go there and collect water from. And not only that, they also arranged for construction of several buildings for pilgrims to take shelter in, what we call as chatrams nowadays, So those things they also provided. And then they also provided the various health centers where when somebody falls sick to be able to take care of them. So whenever Rama expressed a desire that such amenities should be provided, Sumantra never hesitated to agree. Immediately he saw to it that wish was fulfilled, that deficiency were corrected or additional building constructed or whatever the needs were. He took care of it immediately and very efficiently. And this made Rama very happy, because he saw what an efficient and dedicated and a loyal minister Sumantra was. So when the princes then said to each other, even any kingdom that has such ministers, there the welfare and progress of people will be assured. So they were so happy with Sumantra. Now, as they were doing the pilgrimage, the news and accounts of what was happening, where the princes were and how long they were spending where, etc., what their plans were next. All the travel plans and the actually travel happenings were all conveyed back to the queens back in Ayodhya through relay messengers. Messengers used to run or ride horses in relays to carry the message to Ayodhya and bring the message back. And so this way, the queens were kept informed of what was happening to the princess. So they were very happy. Then, when sometimes the news didn't come and the news was delayed, the queens got worried, just like mother would get worried. So they got worried. At that time, now they immediately would go submit themselves to the Guru, Vasishta, and request him and plead with him, please sir, tell us what is happening to the princess. And Vasishta would go into his dhyana, into Samadhi stage, come back and tell them not to worry, the boys are on their way back. They will be here in a couple of days, nothing to worry. So this made the queens even much happier. So the appointed time came, and the messengers brought the news that the princess are only 2 days away from returning to Ayodhya. Immediately, the city took on a festive look. Like, again, the streets were cleaned and swept and water and sprinkled with fragrant water. Posts and festoons were erected, and columns were put beautifully. Again, a festive atmosphere. Even when the boys were gone, very interestingly, there in every waxing phase of the moon, which we call as Sukla Paksham, the Navami, Dasadami, and Ekadasi, these 3 days in which these 4 children were born, every month in the Sukla Paksham, Navami, Dasami, and Ekadasi, the 9th, 10th, and 11th day of the waxing phase of the moon, were celebrated by the citizenry to mark the birth of the princess. And even when they were absent, they continued to celebrate that. So they were very eagerly waiting for them to come. And then the princess arrived at the gate, as announced. Then all the ladies, they all waved the arati to them as the procession went through the city, and then they arrived at the palace. And as they were going through, it was so beautiful, because in front of them, you got to imagine this. You got to visualize this. So in front of them, there were, of course, musicians and minstrels were all singing songs and playing instruments and all that. And after that, behind them were the Vedic priests were chanting holy Vedic mantra. Just imagine the whole atmosphere, the environment was sprinkled with divinity. And then they also saw a divine glow around Rama's face as the procession was coming back, and Sumantra was walking next to them, and the whole town was joyous, so happy and so blissful. They reached the palace gate, and immediately the mothers came and did the arati, and then put the dot there to ward off any evils and all that. Then they took them to the inner apartments, and as soon as they went there, they immediately fell at the feet of their mothers, and the mothers embraced them and did not let them go out with their embrace, did not let go of the embrace for 5 to 6 minutes. They were so tightly hugged, they just could not bear the separation that for the past 3 months, and they were crying out of happiness. And the mother Kausalya was taking the edge of her sari and wiping off her tears, and so they were so happy to have the princess back. And then they asked them, come on, tell us what happened in your pilgrimage. Where all did you go? Tell us the details about it. And immediately the Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, they narrated in the very simple, straightforward manner, and in a very sincere way, beauty, the holiness, and the sacredness of each temple that they went to. And when they described it in such detail, such minute detail, that even the queens felt as if they were present there. It was so nicely done. And then Dasaratha celebrated the return, the Kshetradanam return of the young princess he threw a huge banquet. And it, of course, did the prayers and worshiped God. And then after that, he threw a huge banquet where he invited all the people in the kingdom, and all the Brahmins means the people who are in the Vedic line, the spiritual part of the society, and whoever had completed successfully the yatra to Kashi and Prayag, they were all invited, and everybody was felt was fed very well and given lots of monetary gifts too. And that, since the time the princes were born, till that day, the city of Ayodhya and the kingdom was nothing but a continuous onslaught of feast and festivities. And the citizens were all so happy. There was literally music and happiness and joy in the air every day. Like we say, Nitya Kalyanam, when you talk about Venkateswara, Balaji, like Nitya Kalyanam it was. It was so beautiful. And it was going on so nicely. Then, the parents observed, as all this was going on, they observed a change in their sons. And they thought, a very strange change that had taken place. They thought, okay, this will wear off after some time. They've just returned from these various visits to the holy places, and this effect will wear off and they'll be all right. But it did not happen. The effects, the strangeness that they perceived did not decrease, did not wane off. What happened? Rama stayed mostly indoors. He did not bathe at prescribed hours as he was doing before. And, he had a dislike for all the royal clothes and the royal wardrobe and all that. He did not sit on the golden throne. And he appeared as if he was immersed in somewhere else. His mind, he was somewhere else. And maybe the contemplation of the absolute. And that's the way he appeared to be, beyond the senses and the mind. But since Rama was very morose and was all outward looks was sulking, the three younger brothers, they also felt very bad. They kept his company all the time. They always kept near him, but they never left his presence. But for any games or anything like that, they always stuck with Rama. Because Rama was sulking and morose, they were also sulking and morose. They just could not bear that. The four of them used to gather inside a small room and bolt it from inside. And the mothers used to come and then tap on the door. Come on, food is ready, lunch is ready, come and eat. They had to tap on the door number of times before they would come. The mothers tried their best to find out what was going wrong. And when they asked, why are you sad like this? Why are you morose? Why are you not talking? What is the matter? And Rama simply used to tell them. First, he would not answer their question. Finally, he would say, this is my nature. Why do you seek to know the reason for me, for the way I am? This is the way I am. But the mothers just could not solve that problem. So they said what to do. So they informed Dasaratha. And immediately the king sent word for the four sons. But the command went, the word has been sent, but the boys did not show up. Normally, in the previous days, when Dasaratha said, I want to see my boys, immediately they would come rushing. They would come running. There would not be any delay at all. But here, some minutes passed, some time passed, but still the children had not shown up. So Dasaratha began to wonder, what was this? This has never happened before. They always used to come so fast. So let me go see them. So he got up to go. At that time, the four boys came. And as soon as he saw them, so he sat down and they came in and immediately he put them, he held them very close to his chest and gave them such a tight hug. And with both his hands, he hugged all of them. And then he inquired them, how are you? Like the way a father speaks, sometimes very light things, trying to crack jokes. And then he also spoke to them very seriously on both matters. Now, previously, in the previous days, if Dasaratha asked one question, immediately the boys will give 10 answers. They used to be so talkative. Now, he had to, even if he asked 10 questions, he could hardly get back one answer. The situation seemed to be reversed. So Dasaratha drew Rama to his lap. He said, Rama, and fondled him. Said, Kanna, what has happened? What is it? Why do you refuse to talk? Why are you keeping silent? What is it that you desire? You tell me, I will give it to you. What is it that you want? And I'll give it to you without delay, immediately. See, because of you, look at all your brothers. They're also sad and morose and all that. They're all unhappy. So, when Dasaratha stroked the chin of Rama and looked at him in his eyes, very lovingly and all that. But Rama did not answer anything except to say, I don't need anything. I have no desires. I have everything I need. I don't need anything more. And I'm very content. I'm very happy. That's all he answered. And this is strange behavior. Dasara, you did not know what to do. He became very anxious. He became very worried, agitated, and tears came into his eyes because it's a problem that he could not even understand what the problem was, what the matter was. So then he spoke to them some soft words, kind words, and how sons should behave, right? And some good conduct for them, kind of gave them some advice and sent them back to their quarters. But he was not happy. He called Sumantra to him. Sumantra came rushing. Yes, Maharaja, he said. So he said, Sumantra, when you took the boys to the very holy places, did your Kshetradanam all over the country, and anything happened that why the boys would lose their happiness like this? Is it anything happened there that disturbed them during the pilgrimage? Or is it because they feel sad that you brought them back too soon? Because this is, maybe they thought they wanted to see more places and you brought them here sooner than they wanted. And so he started asking questions like this, probing to see if anything had gone wrong during the pilgrimage. And Sumantra was surprised, became apprehensive. My God, what is happening here? Because he says, no, Maharaja, nothing at all. His lips were quivering because he's a very close friend of Dasaratha, such a sincere, honest, noble soul. And so his lips started quivering, shaking, and he said, no, nothing happened during the journey to displease the princess at all. No difficulty was encountered. Every single wish of theirs was fulfilled immediately, completely, to their utter satisfaction. And, I gave away in charity as much as they wanted. I built the pilgrim houses and water distribution centers and health centers and everything exactly the way they wanted it without delay. They never told me about any happening which they did not like. In fact, I didn't notice anything also, and they didn't tell me to, but on the contrary, they were all very happy with whatever happened. They were always full of happiness and joy and expressing their satisfaction with everything. That's the way it was, Maharaja. And then Dasaratha told him, no, Sumantra, I know you, don't worry. You're really a very good man, a great good man you are. And I know you so well that you are not capable of any neglect in your work or any error in your work. But, Sumantra, I don't understand. I'm not able to, there's inexplicable reason. I don't know. The boys now are behaving very strangely. There's some kind of a thing that has come over them. They seem to have transformed in some way. And they don't seem to enjoy food. They don't seem to enjoy fun and play anymore. What is gone? However much we try, Rama is not opening his mouth. We try to persuade him, but he's not answering. Neither is he giving any indication of what is happening. And it looks like he's always immersed in his own thoughts about the falsity, the falsehood of various things, and he's in somewhere else. I'm absolutely surprised and shocked and agitated and worried about this, Sumantra. The queens are also worried. They're also getting anxious and agitated. What to do? And then Sumantra says, Maharaja, if you permit me, I will go meet the children and diagnose and understand the reason. And then once we find out the nature of the problem, we can easily fix it. So he goes there, taps on the door, and Lakshmana opens the door and lets him in, and then they bolt the door back. Then Sumantra talks to them for several minutes. Then he finds that these boys are not the same boys who were to travel with him. They were so friendly, such a comradeship was there, and jovial and all that. Now here, it's almost like a huge wheel has come between him and the four boys, and very difficult even to bring them into conversation. And finally, Rama says, Sumantra, what reason can I give you for my own nature? This is my own nature. How can I explain it to you? I have no wants, no desires, Sumantra. Don't be anxious about this. But Sumantra was not satisfied. So he came back, sat next to Dasaratha and told him, Maharaja, I think it is better if we bring our Guru Vasishta here. Okay, maybe he can figure out what the problem is. So immediately he took king's permission and leave. And then king, of course, very, very sad. He could not attend to his duties. He neglected them. And he was thinking about what to do and sent for Vasishta to come. And then the Guru came. Immediately the queens and the king and they fell at his feet and told him, Swami, this is the problem. We don't know what is happening. The boys are behaving like this. Rama is not talking. He's not indicating what is wrong with him, etc., etc. Please, you've got to help fix this problem. And then Vasishta goes into his nishtai, and dhyanam, and he opens his eyes and says, Maharaja, do not worry. There is nothing wrong with your children. And in fact, they are not ordinary boys, as I've been mentioning to you. They are free from the least amount of desire and want. They have no desires, no worldly desires, no wants. And their minds are pure, absolutely pure, untarnished, and absolutely unpolluted. So don't be worried. I will go and talk to them. No, not that. Don't worry. Bring them to me. He said, bring them to me. You retire now and I will talk to them. So the king and queens were very happy that now Vasishta has got hold of the problem, so he will solve it. And then the word was sent to the princess that the Guru is calling. But, when Lakshmana and Bharata and Shatrughna, they were immediately got ready to leave to go and meet the Guru, but Rama did not even budge. And so they were getting worried. They said Rama did not show any hurry or anything like that. So he was immersed in himself. Then Lakshmana touched Rama's feet and prayed, Rama, it is best that we go without delay. We cannot keep our Guru waiting. It is not correct. We cannot disobey the command of our Guru. We must go. Lakshmana pleaded with him. And then after various arguments, finally, then Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, they were able to proceed to the puja room where Guru was waiting. And there they fell at the feet of Vasishta and stood before him. And then seeing them, Vasishta was so happy. When you see an avataram, how happy you will be, that cannot be described. Okay, and there is some happiness that comes beyond the senses and mind. This is such a inexplicable, indescribable thing. So Vasishta was so happy. So he called all the four boys together and asked Rama to come even closer to him. And then he fondled Rama very lovingly and said, Rama, why are you become quiet like this? Why are you not talking? See, your mothers are suffering. Your father is suffering. They're all very sad. Is it correct to make your parents sad? Have you not heard? Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. It's like that. He started, giving many lessons and truths, not only lessons, but lessons about truths for Rama's consideration. He was putting forward his argument. Rama listened very quietly, listening to the Guru. Then when Vasishta finished speaking, Rama said calmly, Master, Swami, you speak of mother, but who exactly is mother? First question he asked. Who exactly is son? Then what exactly is his body? That has got the relationship, that provides a relationship between mother and son. What is his body? And what is this Atma, the Jivam, the Jivi, the individual thing that is inside every body that makes it alive? What is it? What is the Jivi? Now, this world that we live in, this objective world, is it real or is it false? Then he went a further question. Is the Supreme Paramatma, is that real? He said, is Paramatma real? But if you look at the body, it's just an image of the Paramatma, isn't it? Now, the five elements, the Panchabhutangal, that comprise the substance called the body, is also the substance in the entire universe. So the whole universe, the Prapancham, is nothing but one combination of these Panchabhutangal, isn't it? But these Panchabhutangal persist even if the bodies vanish in the Prapancham. But there is something else that provides a support even to the Panchabhutangal, to the five elements. Without understanding that basis, that support of the five elements in the universe, if one thinks the Prapancham itself is real, the universe is real, and then you get fascinated to this falsehood that appears as universe, what can we say about such colossal ignorance? Rama is asking this question. Then he says, what can the individual gain really by ignoring the eternal absolute entity that is Atma, that is present in everything? What can he gain by ignoring it? So he started this question. Then Vasishta looked at him. He was observing Rama. He saw a beautiful divine halo of bright light that is shining around Rama's face and wanting to come out, spurt out, jump out. He could see that. This is a sign of divinity. That light is a sign of divinity. So what did Vasishta do? Mentally he prayed to Rama, did not open his mouth because he wanted Rama himself to provide answers to the questions he has raised. So he said, son, I shall see you again in the evening. Mentally he prayed to him, told him, I'll see you in the evening, and got up and left without even bothering to see the king. And then what happened in the evening, that we will cover tomorrow with Swami's grace. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.